welcome into another edition of 8Sports Nightcap here on WRIC+. Got a great show this week, joined in studio by Teal Barber. Richmond native. We're just joking earlier. He's not around Richmond so much anymore because he's been so busy with different things. You do a whole lot of different things, Teal. I've kind of been doing my research the past couple of days to prepare for you coming in. Golf influencer, comedian, you got a clothing line, you sell cigars. I mean, you do a whole lot. Yeah. What's going on? How would you kind of describe, your little corner of the internet world?
Yeah, so it's been a blessing, really, and a very unique ascension in a sense. I'm a Richmond native, of course, happy to be here, happy to be back in my home, born and raised in Midlothian. And, I grew up as a child actor from like 6 years old, so a lot of plays, commercials, and voiceover work. But also, had a grandfather that was a very, very good golfer. He's a scratch golfer, and he started me between middle and high school. So I played in high school, played in college, and then I became a PGA professional and was lucky enough right after I graduated college to take over a country club as the head golf professional. So I became the head pro at Hanover Country Club here in Richmond, just north, and I ran that successfully for 6 years. But to keep my acting passion alive, I was making these funny satirical skits about the elite, wealthy world that I lived in, until it became what it is today with all these millions of views every month and everything. And now my favorite celebrities follow me, and it's just a crazy world for sure.
Yeah, here's a look at his page. Hundreds of thousands of followers. You've gotten the opportunity here recently to kind of dip your toe into with the PGA Tour. We'll get to that in a moment, doing different things. But the skits are hilarious. And before we dive any deeper, I got to kind of give our audience a better idea of what your page looks like, what they can find from some of the talent you put out there. And I thought this skit was hilarious, and wanted to make sure the viewers saw it. So let's take a look at that clip.
Teal, how do you never hit driving range? And a fellow member asked me, Teal, how do you never hit a slice? And I told him, have you looked at your Rolex at Impact? You see, there's so many of my fellow members at the country club that at Impact, their Rolex is pointed at the sky. Shoot, half the time, Tom's Timex is pointed back at him. And that's not conducive to a square face at Impact. That's going to leave your face wide open every single time. So what I like to feel in my golf swing is as I'm heading down through Impact, I really want to feel like the face of my Rolex is heading towards the target. That's going to allow me to square it up and beat the living hell out of the ball in front of the cart girl before I take 3 fireball shots. Use this tip next time, and let's take a look at it in action now. If I could describe the feeling of that ball, pan-seared scallops, just covered in butter.
Loved that one. I watched a couple of them. That was my favorite.
That's a good one.
Great swing as well, right?
It's funny. Oddly enough, that day when I took that video, it's one of my most viral videos. It's the reason Steph Curry and all the other people followed me was that video.
Really?
Yeah, that video. And oddly enough, that day I could barely swing the club. I was in so much pain because I had Lyme disease, which is a whole other thing I get into. It's a part of my passion and why $10 of every box of my cigars goes to the Global Lyme Alliance. But I look back at that video, and it's funny, I almost never posted that, and that is the reason why so many of the celebrities I interact with today follow me. So
really?
I'm happy I did, yep.
Yeah, a lot of pain you mentioned, but a great swing. You mentioned you played high school golf at Thomasdale.
Yeah.
Where'd you play college golf at?
Campbell University. So I was part of the PGA.
Fighting Camels.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's part of the PGA Golf Management Program. Mm-hmm. So, I think it's one of 18 or so universities that offer it in the United States to become a PGA professional. What that means, so people understand if they don't get it, is you have the PGA professional that ends up on tour, but you also have the PGA pro that runs a golf club, becomes the head of a club or teaches lessons, whatever. That's the PGA professional that I was becoming. So once I graduated, I was very fortunate via some nice connections and hard work that I had built up over my internships to be offered the job of head golf professional at such a young age of 23. And, you know, it was really, really cool. Such a great opportunity that really was honestly able to help me formulate this character that I've become so well known for today. It's a very unique way to do it, that's for sure.
Yeah, especially being able to do it close to home. I mean, I know that those jobs don't open up very often across the country to be the head pro at these country clubs, and you know, to get an opportunity to do that, especially close to home. What was that? You know, those first couple of years, you know, you're right out of college, and all of a sudden you got this, you know, managing a whole country club with different people wanting lessons or bookings, whatnot.
Yeah, it was tough. You know, the initial start, right? I'm 23. I'm a young guy, and they're like, all right, so you have all these employees under you, and a lot of those employees under you are older than you, so they're trying to get accustomed to, you know, answering to your way and the things that you want done. But then it's also me learning the job, you know, and I had great mentors in Mike Hatch, who owns Brander Mill in Birkdale. Mike is a visionary in the golf world, especially in Richmond. He's a, you know, actually an English guy, you know, over across the pond, but he came over here and he made a good name for himself here. And he's a very smart man, always gave me a great opportunity and really taught me along the way, but helped me build on my own to really know what I needed to do and to run a club successfully. So he was able to, you know, as they say, you know, the cliche is like help you fail in a sense. He was able to help me fail and learn from failures and learn how to grow and then turn them into successes. So it was pretty cool.
And when did you know, you mentioned a character. I like you gave yourself the title King of Satire. When did that begin? Was that something you kind of were doing even when you were in college? Liked making videos, and I'm sure you were a class clown. I don't
honestly
imagine.
Not even.
Really?
It's like my outlet. I'm a very reserved guy. All the people, my friends joke with me actually still to this day. They laugh at my friends. They say it's hilarious that you are the one that ended up becoming famous in a sense, is because I'm still to this day very reserved. I don't like people in my business. I don't like people, you know, really knowing a whole lot. I like kind of staying to myself, but what I've always loved is making people laugh. I really like entertaining people. I love putting a smile on people's faces, and that has been my outlet. So when social media, it was really just a way to keep my acting passion alive. I never expected it to be this whole full-time, you know, massive career that it's turned into. I just always thought it would be a lovely thing to just express myself through these episodes, if you will. I very much treated my social media platform, and now I have almost 500,000 followers. I have an average viewership of 6 million people a month. It's absurd what it's turned into. I never expected that. You know, I never expected that. It was really just me expressing myself while I'm in this very corporate world of running a golf club, managing employees. I wanted to be able to make people laugh on the side, and it ended up turning into the full-time thing.
Yeah, and you got a lot going on. You got a clothing line here. The cigars kind of took me by surprise when I was looking at your website. You mentioned that some of these proceeds goes towards charity. How did you get into the world of selling cigars? That's a pretty interesting, especially your face to be on them as well.
Of course, yeah. So, you know, my cigars, you know, it's called the Country Club by Teal Barber, and it's a passion project. That's literally what it is. My father, he gave me my first cigar when I turned 18, and ever since then, I've always loved it. It's always been seen as this thing that I could do and enjoy with him, my late uncle, Bree, and a couple of other different people. It is a thing to just really sit back and relax and be away from your phone, be away from, you know, the troubles of the world. Like a cigar makes you sit down and dedicate at least a couple of hours to just enjoying life.
Especially on the course.
Yes, or on the course, yeah. So what I did is once I knew I had this fan base to activate upon and the product, I'm like, if I'm going to make a product that can maybe outlast me, then it was cigars. I said, this is a great first step. So I launched it last year in April, and it's been great. And the reason, of course, I called it the Country Club was to speak, of course, to my heritage in golf, but also my, you know, current life in entertainment now. And people have loved it. It's a great blend. It took a couple of years to come up with the blend, and it's in a lot of country clubs now, a lot of private lounges, and I'm just continuing to grow that. But it really is a passion project. And then, like I told you earlier, the charitable aspect is $10 of every box goes to the Global Lyme Alliance just because of my own struggle with Lyme disease. Yeah. And that's near and dear to my heart, so it's pretty cool. Yeah, that's great. And through all of this success you've had, you know, through your videos, through, you know, being in the position to make those videos by, you know, getting that opportunity at the country club, you then get the invite to buy the PGA to go perform in this
you'll describe it better than me, but essentially closer to the pin challenge with some of the biggest names and creators in all of golf. Yeah. At the Waste Management, I want everyone, correct?
Yep.
Yeah, like what everyone wants to go to the Waste Management and sit at 16, and you got the opportunity to do that. And I'll play some of the video in the background while we talk over it, because what an opportunity that must have been to kind of rub shoulders with some of these guys, all the Barstool guys, Trent and all those guys. That had been pretty cool.
Yeah, really, what I would say is what an opportunity it was for them to rub shoulders with me, right? Because I hit the two closest shots of the night, 6 feet and 7 feet. So I think that they weren't expecting that, right? Like people do know my golf game online for sure, but I'm very well known, of course, for my entertainment and my comedy, right? I kind of keep the golf game very quiet and subtle. Like I said, I don't like people in my business a lot. So I'd rather just prove myself by showing up. So very proud of myself for what I did. I had a shaky start in the beginning where I was a little nervous. You get over, I was puring it on the range. I have the Tour pros hitting right beside me. I have Scotty Scheffler, Colin Morikawa, a couple other people that are on the range right there. I forget exactly who it was, but they're warming up, or they're actually ending their rounds, and they're hitting beside me. I'm on the range just puring it every time. And then I get there and I stand over that first shot and I'm like, oh my God, this is what it feels like. So hit a little bit of a rough shot just off the right side of the green and bounces off, and I think I'm out. But luckily, I was able to stick through all the way to the end, almost won it, hit the two closest shots of the night, and I was very, very proud of myself for that. But the thing is, what I'm really, really happy about is that I have been able to build a brand that the PGA Tour deems worthy enough, of course, to invite out for something like this as just one of 8 creators to have at such a massive event. This is one of the biggest events of the year for the PGA Tour, with so many people in attendance, and it's just a blessing to be a part of.
Yeah, and you mentioned the first shot didn't go so great, but it almost worked out, I feel like, better in terms of, your FaceTime to be kind of like, all right, they had this interesting rule where you got to redo.
The reverse mulligan.
Yeah, reverse mulligan is what they called it. And then you got to shine there, and then from there, you were kind of the underdog, and you made it all the way to that last round. That had been pretty cool.
Exactly, it was. It was one of those things where I thought, okay, hold on a second. You might be out, but after that, when I realized, okay, well, I'm in, I kind of went into this flow state, which golfers will definitely know if you're in it. I've been playing golf a long time now, and if you're in the flow state, you know what it is. You almost become isolated. And when people go on the PGA Tour's YouTube and watch that a 40-minute long episode, they can probably see that in me. I'm not talking as much. I'm kind of chill. It's because I became almost like this cocoon within myself, and that's how you don't even know what's going on around you, and that's how I was able to just throw those darts all the way until the next, down to the last round to, almost clutch the win.
Could you feel the pressure? I mean, there was $50,000 of charity on the line.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's a lot of pressure.
You can definitely feel the pressure. Like I said, I felt it on that first shot. My hands were shaky a little bit on the first, and that's the only reason why that one was a little squirrely. But after that, I knew I had a job to do, locked in, started hitting some good shots.
This past summer, the Internet Invitational was such a big deal in the world of sports, really. Kind of took over. It saw a big rise in golf entertainment online. You rubbed shoulders with a lot of guys that were a part of that world. Were you familiar with those guys beforehand, or was this kind of a cool opportunity to maybe pass around some business cards?
Well, I will say, the golf world, especially in the golf entertainment world, it's kind of small. There's only but so many of us, and we all end up appearing at the same events a lot. So it's people that I've met before, it's some people that I haven't, and then you're able to sometimes in these settings have longer conversations. So, of course, since my performance was quite good during the showdown at 16, it caught the eye of Riggs, from Barstool, and he said, man, the swing is dialed. And I had joked with him. I said, dialed enough for this next Internet Invitational? He was like, we'll have to see, because a lot of people were surprised I wasn't in the first one. But I'm excited for whatever comes my way in 2026. It's already been such a blessing of a year. And I'm just happy to entertain people in my way that I do. And, for any time that I'm invited, especially for, an entity as large as the PGA Tour, what can I complain about?
Yeah, absolutely. Because of, you get this sort of opportunity, but you feel like you do so much different thing. You mentioned the acting, the voice acting, all the different things. Do you try to keep it all a little, a hand in each cookie jar, or are you trying to focus on one thing? What's kind of going through your mind right now in terms of this part of your career?
Yeah, so I think that I have done over the years a good job of blending all of them together. while not losing sight of either. So, you have your acting, you have your golf, you have the lifestyle and luxury and the travel. And what I've tried to do with my content is mix all of those together so that they're always kind of coinciding every week, and there's this little piece, so for the people that follow me for golf, they're getting that every week. The people that follow me for comedy, they're getting that. The people that follow me just because they want to see some luxurious thing that I'm doing that week, they're getting that as well. So I've really tried to treat my Instagram and my other socials like this, place for you to see. It's almost like an episode every week, right? What is he up to this week? And it really is a streaming platform. That is what I've treated my socials like, where you can come in and you hop in and you get a laugh, or you see where I'm at, what I'm up to. And as I continue to try to build that in the years forward, of course, I'm thinking of things like TV shows and producing my own things. And I've already gotten reached out to by, multiple networks in that effort. But it's really in an effort now for me to see it in my vision. So once I finally find the network and the service and the way that I want to stream it, the way that I want to do it, then I'll finally say yes. And surely enough, you guys will either see a show soon enough that's called A Day at the Country Club or whatever. Who knows? But it's coming soon. Just be ready.
You started this thing working as a PGA pro at the Hanover Country Club, as you mentioned. We showed some of your videos. A satire of this rich life. At the country club. Have you found yourself, as you have more and more success, dipping your toe and becoming almost that posh version of yourself that you've joked about?
Well, yeah, it is funny. Like I said, my friends have kind of joked with me now. It has become somewhat of an extension of myself. Like, I like to joke that, the Teal Barber that my close friends know is not the guy that you see on Instagram, but if anything, a subdued version. Yes, the real Teal very much still likes his nice things. I love my watches. I love cars. I love traveling. I love all that stuff. But I'm a little bit nicer than the guy that people see online. The guy online, he definitely has his way about things. He's like, it's my way or the highway. That's what the satirical character's about. But the real Teal, yes, it is. And as I have gained some more success, maybe it is a little tougher to make fun of a world that you live in. But if anything, that's the beauty of it, because I've been able to add such a level of realism to my skits that maybe sometimes people don't. So I always say, if I'm making fun of, jerks in Aspen, I'm in Aspen. That's why I don't do it in my backyard here in Richmond. I do it at the place because that's just what I want to do. And I really I want it to be a show that people watch and they get involved in that. And maybe I'm a little bit too good at it because sometimes people they take it too seriously. And they're like, wait a second, what? But I try to add into my skits such a level of absurdity that you're like, there's no way that could be his actual opinion. And, you just leave it up to people's imagination after that.
Have you gotten to, you mentioned you've been traveling so much recently. Have you been able to be back in Richmond and do some stuff around here? Do you try to base yourself out of Richmond, or is, in terms of your connection to the local area?
So Richmond's always going to be home. Right? It's always going to be the place I was born, and I love this city. And what I'm trying to do, and I hope to have the support of the city, is that I have been able to put us on a map in a sense via the golf world, via entertainment. And I just want to have the support of my city. That's all. So when I'm out over here, like I just came back off of a wonderful 3 weeks of travel via, I was invited by Tiger Woods' new league to the TGL, indoors at Palm Beach. So I was there. And then I went to, Phoenix via the PGA Tour and had a lovely time. And then I went to L.A. straight from Phoenix for NBA All-Star weekend.
Man, how was that?
It was a beautiful thing, But at the same token, what I want is for my hometown to know, of course, that I'm up to these lovely things outside of our home, but I'm still from here. I'm a Richmond native. And it's something that I'm hope that they're proud of, hope that they're happy to see, And this will be a place that as I continue to grow in success, I hope to be able to nurture that further. Like I've been able to come back home and speak to different high schools when I'm invited and speak at graduations, and that's been really cool. And I hope to do more of that type of stuff, more charitable work, just more growing of the city so that Richmond also continues to be a pillar, because what I don't want it to be is this place where every time people feel like, they have some type of success, they have to leave.
Yeah, absolutely.
Have some success, but then come back to Richmond and, grow the city even further. That's what I want to do.
I'm not going to put you too much on the spot we were talking about it before the show. I've only been in Richmond now for 16, 17 months.
Yeah.
I've only played a couple of courses. I'm not going to make you tell me your favorite course from around the region, but what's maybe an underrated one that I should check out, or any of our viewers should check out, or maybe a top 3 your favorite places or a favorite hole that you've had around Richmond.
You want to stick specifically to Richmond area, right?
Oh yeah,
for sure.
Something that I could get to in a tank of gas.
Absolutely. So I'm fortunate to be a member of a couple of clubs here in Richmond, and I would say number one, I'm not a member of it, but it's a great club, is Kinloch. If you ever have the chance, you just say yes. You just say yes to going to Kinloch. And I'm a member at Vinatera and Royal New Kent. Those are both 2 beautiful clubs that you can get to, and they're semi-private, so you have the opportunity as a public to catch a tee time. So I would check out Vinatera and Royal New Kent, but there is so much. The beauty about Virginia, especially if you catch that little sweet pocket of springtime weather, there is so much good golf to see here, from the beautiful water views you get at Brander Mill, and all the way up to, like, I would say Spring Creek, which takes maybe 45 minutes or so, a drive out from the heart of Richmond. There's so much good golf in the general Richmond, Charlottesville, / area to see. It's unbeatable.
Yeah, I'm excited to get out to some more courses this upcoming summer.
And actually, one I'll highlight too that is definitely a great one to see is Keswick.
Okay.
Keswick up in the Charlottesville area. That was actually where we did the photo shoot when I was on the cover of the Virginia Golfer in December.
Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
I think I can pull that up.
So that is a beautiful, beautiful golf club to see. It's always in wonderful condition during the summer times, and they have a great resort to stay at as well. And you're in basically our version of wine country when you're in that area.
There's some great wineries up there.
And think about how lucky we are, in Richmond to have that type of stuff in an arm's reach, where you can go and you have, a dozen wineries at your disposal about less than an hour away. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm excited to maybe knock out some of those. I'll just have to try to lock you down for a lesson now with your busy schedule.
Well, that's the tough part. Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know as much. I don't know that I have the time as much.
When's the last time you've given a lesson? I'm sure it's been
always,
a while.
It is very much. It's probably been over 2 years now.
Really?
But it's always for like close friends and people that I've given lessons to in the past. Now I just don't have the time.
I would imagine.
I land, I'm home for a few days, and I'm flying off somewhere else. So when I am home in Richmond, what I try to do is just go to a coffee shop or something and relax and enjoy. I try to do nothing work related when I'm home. But on occasion, for those people like friends, other people that I've taught in the past, they're like, Teal, I beg of you, I need a tune-up, please. Like, I know like you have your cousins that make fun of you.
Of course.
My cousins, they call me Hollywood.
Yeah.
So they say, I know you're Hollywood, but if you have time for us, please come in and help me. And that's what some of the people I used to teach say now. So I will on occasion.
There you go. That's awesome. Well, Teal, thanks so much for swinging by the studio today. It was great talking with you. What do you have going on maybe in the near future that the folks watching can tune in for or look forward to?
Yes, I would say stay tuned, of course, with the golf industry. Once March and April starts, obviously, people know there's a lot going on, so be on the lookout for some fun, Masters activity in April.
Okay.
I have some cool things going on. I also have a comedy tour that I'm launching, so
wow.
A little stand-up tour I'm very excited for. Be able to hit, a lot of the different the cities that I'm popular in. And then, of course, just continuous great content. That's what I'm all about.
Yeah.
More opportunities, more blessings, more success.
Perfect. Well, Teal, thanks so much for swinging by. This has been another edition of 8 Sports Nightcap. Thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll see you next week. Good night, everybody.